Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. We are glad to bring prospect updates to you every single week. We love watching the prospects of the Detroit Red Wings because each game they grow, each game they progress. So if you think we're talking about the same guys a little too much or frequently, it's because they grow. We disagree. They grow so much even game by game, and in that growing period, that's what we love to watch. We love to watch them develop. We love to watch them get better at their game and get more encouragement for the Detroit Red Wings' future. So today we're going to cover Taro Hirose and Michael Rasmussen and kind of update you on kind of how they're progressing. They're both playing with the Griffins right now. And they have done stints with the Red Wings, and they both have things to work on, of course, but we're so excited for the development. So we're going to talk about them today.
So, side note, before we actually get into talking about it, I just want to
say... Just kidding, she's going to say something else.
It's just really important. I want to kind of piggyback on what you said. It's really important because the phase of development that the team as a whole is in, the Detroit Red Wings, eventually we're going to be cup contenders again, but this whole process is super important.
You're going to see these guys.
Well, just for the fans, too, to understand what is actually happening behind the scenes. So,
yeah.
Thank you for listening to us do that. So, now to actually get started, Taro Hirose. He's 5'10", approximately 161 pounds, which is funny because he's just a pound heavier than me. So I could play hockey. This year he spent time with Detroit and is in Grand Rapids, like Janae said. While he was with Detroit, he was with the taxi squad, but he managed to play 6 games, had 2 points in that period of time, which is really good, I think, for his age and stage of development, and considering he came out of college, so he really, besides juniors when he was super young, has no formal training, I guess, where a lot of athletes will go from juniors to peewees to, all the way through the pipeline and then get drafted. So he's taken a different route. The biggest area of growth for him, though, has been his agility and his skating, his overall vision. There's a couple different things, but in the last couple weeks, we've noticed he's taking a lot more chances. He's taking a lot more risks. And what I love most is his agility. I love watching him skate, and he's super sharp and fast, which that's something when he is up top has become a very good tool for him to have.
When he is with the taxi squad for the Detroit Red Wings, I think that's a great opportunity for any of these guys because that means they're practicing with the team. There's a lot of vets up top that can help him out in his specific area of expertise. So it's great for the guys to be able to be on the taxi squad and even get games in the NHL because it's just further going to help their development. It's going to help coaching staff see where they need more improvement, and it's going to help them also see that as well. Yeah. So something I love about Hirose's growth so far is that he is not intimidated by basically anything. He's got a goal. He's going to stay on the puck. He's going to make chances. He's going to get goals. So Hirose, if he's knocked down, he gets right back up. He's right back on the puck. So that's something, that tenacity is something that I think has grown in him. And I think also he's gotten much more confident, which in any kind of hockey player, it helps just to be confident in your abilities, to know you can go out there, do the work, and help your line mates it's something that you live for. Just to be able to help the team win. That's what they're there for. That's what they want to do.
That's what separates hockey from the rest, I think,
too.
It's
the best.
And if you don't think so, you're wrong.
And he averages, I don't know if you said it, he averages a point per game so far. And he is on a line with Not
McElrath. Sometimes.
Well, just sometimes, but with Michael Rasmussen. He's on a line with him most of the time. And they work so well together, and I think that only helps both of them progress and grow even more.
Now, season impressions for Hirose, we've watched him for about 2 or 3 seasons now, and year over year, it's nice to see players like him get better. And it doesn't always show in the numbers, and we've said that before, where what you see on the ice doesn't always translate into points, but it does not mean they're not improving.
Right.
With Hirose, even if he's not getting points, he's working his butt off in those games. His stamina is just outrageous. And
he's a grinder. He's a hard worker, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and overall, I think, he stands a pretty good shot, but we'll get to that. Moving forward into Michael Rasmussen, everyone's pretty familiar with him. He was a first-round draft pick
for us. These guys are pretty different in their statures.
Almost a complete foot difference, which is amusing to see when they're out on the ice together, but it doesn't stop Hirose, that's for sure. But Rasmussen, 6'6", about 229 pounds, big boy. He's 21 years old, so he's still growing, and that's kind of scary to think about.
Well, he's not just tall. He's got muscle. He's building well, and he's being because he is supposed to be a net present, net strong guy. Net strong center.
Kind of like what Tomas Holmstrom was for us back in the glory days.
And he is. We were at the game just this past weekend after this video is filmed, and I have pictures of him, and he's almost sitting on the goalie. Like he takes his job so seriously in front of the net, and
goalies probably hate that.
I can't imagine being a goalie. Like, why is this guy sitting on me? And that's why they end up shoving and the pushing. Screen. Like he's being physical. He's being in his face, and that's what his job is, you know, to create those chances, to deflect. He's so good at deflections, and he's gotten even better at that. I think I cut you off. You can keep going.
Oh, no, that's totally cool.
But I just thought it was hilarious. I saw pictures literally sitting on him. Almost. I mean, not goalie interference.
With a really straight face.
There was
his facial expression never changes, which makes it even funnier.
That would be, I think, one more thing, is that he doesn't get rattled. And I don't think this is like a growth area. He just never has.
His disposition.
A guy could try rattle him, and he's there to work. He's going to get it done, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm just going to stare at you, because half the time
is my job.
When the guys want to get under your skin or under their skin, they win if they do, you know, so like as far as they win that little personal battle, not the game.
They don't win
but yeah, he doesn't let him get under his skin, and he just works. He just works that much harder.
And I had compared him at one point in time to just a soldier following orders. He is told what to do. Detroit has given him instructions on where they want him to improve, and he's just going to go do it. And to him, it's like, well, it doesn't matter if he's getting called up or sent down. His career has been kind of tumultuous in that way from the start, from his contracts
with injuries and with how Detroit develops players in general.
Right, and that's just, it kind of comes with the territory, but he takes it very well, where he's like, I know my job, I know what I need to do, and he knows it's up to him personally to get to the point where the team needs him to be. That being said, when he's with Detroit, so far this season, he's had 8 games with them, he's had 3 points. Pretty dang good, I would say. With Grand Rapids, just like Hirose, they're both averaging the same point production, a little more than a point per game. So
they work really well together.
They tandem really well. And Rasmussen, and I don't know if you've touched on this already, but his biggest area of growth with the transitions that he's had is, I think, just his self-control. Like, he will control what he can. He's going to work his butt off, and it's up to him to kind of dictate how his future plays out.
And his reach doesn't hurt anything either.
No, that whole 7-foot-long reach is pretty great.
That's pretty great. But something with both of these guys are just very mature prospects. And I think that these two guys, in that way, are going to, that's something that's going to show through, just because that comes into development. And I think that personal responsibility for these two guys is very high, and they're just personally responsible. They're going to go out there, they're going to do the work, they're going to improve, and if you couldn't tell, we really like these two guys.
We're really happy.
So, Rach, why don't you touch on a little bit about the line mates that they're usually with in Grand Rapids and how that kind of helps?
So, with our prospect development, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this at Detroit and in Grand Rapids, there's a lot of fidgeting with the lines, of course, and the coaches, I think, have done a remarkable job in Grand Rapids in pairing these two with very talented veteran players and players that model their styles similarly.
Coaching staff in Grand Rapids is just
on par. Ben Simon, great job, and company, of course.
And company.
We don't want to leave anyone out.
The whole team.
The whole team.
Everybody in the background, owner, you guys.
Equipment managers, you're all awesome. But they have been often paired with Riley Barber, who we touched on a few weeks ago,
who's still just killing it.
He's literally out for like 3 back-to-back shifts. The guy has no limit to his engine.
He's there to score, and he does.
He does a good job. But they're often paired with him on that line, and then, of course, they've got defensive pairings, and Steph Chalosky is often with them, and mixed with another veteran like McElrath or Lashoff. Either way, all of these guys, they've done a great job of surrounding these players with players that complement their styles and their strengths, and I think that's really helped their production. Yeah. And that is something that once it translates to Detroit, and I say once it does, because eventually I do believe there's a good chance these two
keep your eye on Grand Rapids, because
don't sleep on them, man.
Don't sleep on them, man. Don't do it.
Just don't.
Another thing, they're usually on special teams. So Hirose and Rasmussen work really well together, and then, like Rachel was saying, Dennis Chalosky is they'll usually do 4 forwards and 1 defenseman, and usually it's Chalosky. And it also helps him because he's been getting a lot more goals too, and he's a very productive, I would say he's been a very productive defenseman so far this season. And I think that helps because those 3 work really well together. And if you've got that vision on the ice, you've got that chemistry with your line mates, it only improves. So the play style between the two, I think, is as similar as far as we were saying, the personal responsibility, but of course they're different. Center and winger, different responsibilities.
Yeah, and they're obviously body styles and skating abilities, I would say.
But neither of them back off the puck.
No.
Neither of them.
Like, with this team,
they carry it in and they get stuff
and
done.
They score, which is great.
We love it. It's great. So for the overall future, we're really excited about these two. I think they're going to be great, and I really hope that the
Detroit Red Wings.
I started going too fast.
She gets excited.
I really think that the Red Wings should definitely keep their eye on Hirose. I don't want them to sleep on him for a minute, because I think that he's going to be ready pretty soon. And I think also, just as a side note, he's in a really good spot, having not as many of our prospects being able to play this year. So, like Joe Veleno, that's helping Rasmussen, because Veleno's a center.
A lot of our international kids are overseas right now.
Not helping as far as, like, they don't want to play together. But the Red Wings, I think, are going to hone in on the guys.
It's more exposure.
It's more exposure. That's what we're saying. That's what we're going to go with it.
With the overall future of the teams, too, I mean, and like Janae was saying, don't sleep on the Griffins. There is so much happening in Grand Rapids right now and so much to get excited about. Detroit has been doing pretty good. They've been trying to get things together. Yeah, their record's not great right now, but the team as a whole on both levels are making really, really good strides. And that's why it's important for you guys and for us to inform you of this stuff going on, because just because they're in development, just because the team is rebuilding does not mean that it's hopeless and it's going to be years and years and years. These guys have been working behind the scenes for 2 to 3 years now, and they're getting very close. And
you know what? Joke's on you if you don't watch them. So.
Yeah.
So go watch them. You can watch.
Your love for them should be blind sometimes.
You can watch the Griffins on AHLTV.com.
Yep.
AHL. That's probably it.
Just Google it.
Again, we're not sponsored, but you should watch as many. Yes. I mean, watch AHL games. They're great. So
the broadcasts are live on radio too.
Yeah. So watch them. That's what we're kind of thinking and seeing about Hirose and Rasmussen. Let us know in the comments if you've watched them and if you like them and how much you like them. And
please comment, please subscribe, pass on all your hockey loving and non-hockey loving friends, because they need to be converted.
They need to be hockey loving. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
They're missing out.
That's basically it. So we'll see you guys next time.